broken campaign promises.
That's pretty profound for a high-speed project.
I like to think I transformed genre convention.
It's Lincoln we need to stop at this point.
The bullets have no effect!
He's made of marble, Max, and fueled by rage.
We have you surrounded, Abe! Pull over and listen testing!
Lincoln smash!
He's a testy little investigator, isn't he? Hey, look, Max. It's the presidential discretionary budget. You have $100 million to allocate however you want.
What a delightfully random and convenient figure. Where are we going, Sam?
Back to the office.
Shotgun!
Hello, Comrade Bosco.
Hail to the chief! I don't know how you guys did it, but I just got a huge check from the government.
You earned it, Bosco. It's not easy to perfectly preserve weenies that predate the discovery of fire.
Not to mention the teeming microcosm growing in the bathroom. We're considering making it a national wildlife preserve.
Now I can finally finish my satellite defense system.
So we can have the truth serum?
Sure, let me dig it up from the lab.
This is a bottle of vodka.
What it works. Trust me. Get a couple of shots of that in somebody, and they'll tell you all their secrets.
Thanks, Bosco. Where are we going, Sam?
We're off to the White House.
Oh, boy!
For a drink?
It's soda, right? You brought more soda.
Sure, why not?
Wow! That's got more kick than the other ones. Thanks, Sam and Max. You guys are my best friends.
Now can we get back to the deliberation?
What's the point? You still think Peeper's idea is stupid.
Stupid? You never told me you thought my idea was stupid.
He said your idea of adding Herbert Hoover hugging the 4 other presidents was the stupidest thing he'd ever heard.
Well, it is. Hoover wasn't even a president, which means he certainly wasn't the most loving of all the presidents.
Well, at least I didn't suggest putting a parking garage in George Washington's forehead, like some four-eyed freaks I know.
You little...
You big...
Of course you realize this means war!
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 What's this I hear? What wondrous thing? Is this the DEFCON klaxon's ring? A flashing light above the door. There's just one thing it could mean. War. Oh, what is it good for? What is it good it's for? Good for you. Good for you. It's good for me. Oh, war. What is it good for? What is it good for? It strengthens the economy. It shows the world that we've got stones and carriers with fighter drones. War. Oh, what is it good for? What is it good it's for? Good for you. It's good for me. It's good for you. It's good for me. Oh, war. Oh, what is it good for? Oh, it strengthens the economy. All lengthy battles and incumbents dream, because it can't change horses in midstream. For bombs and guns and so much more, we celebrate the joys of war, war, war. For bombs and guns, and so much more, we celebrate the joys of war.
Well,
Let's not do that again.
the Civil War in the Dakotas seems to be escalating, Max.
Let them thin out the overpopulation of moose and strip malls for a few weeks, and then we'll step in.
It looks like Bismarck has fallen to the West Dakotan militia.
Oh no! That will wipe out the country's crucial snow and slush reserves!
Your compassion for your people is heartwarming, Mr. President. It's a plate of fancy cookies.
For the discriminating general with a sweet tooth and a taste for vengeance.
Hey, there's gourmet coffee, in case the idea of war makes you insufficiently jittery.
I'm plenty juiced just being in here. Let's blow stuff up!
What to do in time of war. Select target, press fire. That's all it says. Looks like a remote homing beacon in the frigid Antarctic.
So peaceful, so serene.
Want to blow it up?
You have to ask? Dinner special tonight? Penguin flambe.
Who would have suspected the Washington Monument is really a self-replenishing supply of intercontinental ballistic missiles?
It's good to see it used for something more useful than corny innuendo for once.
I wonder if this will have a significant impact on our delicate ecosystem.
Absolutely. My ego is bigger already.
Apparently, once we've shot them, there's no longer a homing beacon for the missiles to lock onto. Look, Max, in the White House garden pond. It's Jimmy Two-Teeth.
We often allow lobbyists to use the pool, Sam.
Jimmy's a lobbyist now? What's he lobbying for? Cheese interests?
Affordable health care for the aged and underprivileged, Sam. He's a lot more multifaceted than you give him credit for.
There's a growing insurgency around Fargo to repel the South Dakotan occupation.
What a senseless waste of human life. Hey, do you think these screens get cable?
There's a growing insurgency around Fargo to repel the South Dakotan occupation.
What a senseless waste of human life. Hey, do you think these screens get cable?
These must be for the Joint Chiefs and other quasi-important hoo-has.
Nice screensaver.
The homing beacon to the Kremlin doesn't seem to be working. It was probably turned off in the spirit of Glasnost.
More likely those lazy commie bastards forgot to change the batteries.
Lazy former commie bastards, Max. It's the distant, peaceful world of Krypton.
They mock us with their utopian society of crystal cities and absentee parents. They must be exterminated! This'll teach them to put me in the Phantom Zone. You will bow down before me!
Aw, better pull up a chair, little buddy. Well, what do you know? Bosco was right. The government really has been targeting his store for destruction.
Won't he be glad when we tell him?
What do you say we keep this to ourselves, Max?
You're right. We don't want to ruin the surprise. Attention, Bosco shoppers. Clean up in aisle everything.
Would you look at that? Bosco's satellite defense system actually works.
Well played, Bosco. You're safe. But for how long? Where are we going, Sam?
Back to the office.
Shotgun!
Look, stuck to the camera. That must be the homing beacon for the intercontinental ballistic missiles aimed at Bosco's store.
What was that?
He said, that must be the best price on baby wipes I've ever seen.
Can you believe Bosco's was really being targeted by the government all this time?
This place is inconvenient, overpriced, inefficient, and overseen by a single crazed individual with ultimate power.
You're right, and the government hates competition.
Sam, did we just walk into an editorial cartoon?
Bosco's paranoia is really getting out of hand.
You think he's acting crazy today? You should see what he was doing in those surveillance videos I took last night.
This storm music sure is catchy.
It burrows into my synapses like a deer tick.
Now there's a quote for the album cover. I guess we should get back to work. Tongues placed on freezer become property of Bosco.
I got quite a few tons that way.
Where are we going, Sam?
After that rampaging Lincoln.
Yes! His own back off to escape.
Looks like the targeting beacon is still stuck on Lincoln.
This is a pretty impressive temper tantrum, Sam. At this rate, he'll have enslaved all of D.C. and most of Baltimore by tomorrow morning.
Egads, you're right, Max. Still, I think we should stop him.
We haven't got anything better to do.
Mr. President?
Don't mind if I do.
Quick, let's go.
Shouldn't we revel a little?
We don't want to miss this.
Laxatives to pigeons on parade days.
We broke 2 presidents in one afternoon.
A personal best.
Well, it looks like the country is saved, at least for mass hypnosis. What do you want to do now?
Let's abuse my powers as leader of the free world to squeeze the middle class until they're burning their own shoes for heat.
Sounds fun, but I was thinking we could treat ourselves to some chocolate-frosted gut bombs and then have a little target practice down at the Smithsonian.
Sam, you're my best friend.
Agent Chuckles, report. Query status. Lincoln Gambit, 4-7. Query not acknowledged in acceptable timeout parameters. Error.